Hello and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Do you have a friend who's a little too aggressive for their own good? Do you know someone who seems faker than a $2 bill? Do you have a friend who's constantly trying different get-rich-quick schemes to see how far they can get? Well, this person might just need some therapy, but they might also be a psychopath. Stay tuned for all the craziest traits that psychopaths have. Coming in at number 10, we have they lie all the time. Something that a psychopath will do is constantly lie. It's a weird power game for them, and it's not even big lies. They will just do this about little things, and they have a multitude of reasons why they will do something like this. One, they love to see if they can trick you. If they can start getting away with small lies, then what kind of big lies could they trick you with? They start with slowly pulling you into a situation where you don't know what you believe because they have spun a web of lies around you to make it hard to discern what is real and what is not. Another reason why is because it gives them a sense of control over you. Being able to lie to you and fool you makes them feel superior. If you know someone that lies to you constantly, even in a joking way, they might have some psychopathic tendencies. Telling you that lying to you was a joke is a great way to cover up what they're actually trying to do, which is manipulate. Coming in at number 9, we have they have different personalities for different people. I mean, we all probably do this a little bit. You have a face that you show your friends, someone who is fun and probably one of the more laid-back versions of yourself. And you might have a version of yourself that you show to your family. Depending on how close you are with them, this might be a very honest version of yourself or a more reserved version of yourself so you don't offend anyone at Christmas dinner. But what I'm talking about is this friend might have a different face they show to almost every person they meet. They warp who they are to make sure that each person likes them, and they aren't doing this to please the people around them. It's one thing if someone is so insecure they feel the need to change who they are to please the people around them, but it's another thing when they are doing this so they can take advantage of the people around them. There's going to be a common theme with this list, and that is that manipulation is the name of the game when it comes to psychopaths. They want something from you, whether it's money, your time, your affection, or anything else they can see as value, and they are going to do whatever they can to try and take it from you. Coming in at number 8, we have narcissistic. A way that psychopaths can justify their insane behavior is by thinking that they are just better than everyone, that the people around them don't deserve honesty, and that they were meant to be manipulated because the psychopath is better than everyone. I mean, they aren't, but that's something that they can say in their head. If you have a friend who says things like, I'm just better than other people, or I'm very smart, or I never make mistakes, well, they might just be up their own butt. I don't think every person who says that is a psychopath, but there's a chance that they might have some psychopathic tendencies. Coming in at number 7, we have violent. This is probably the most obvious one. This friend of yours, do they watch people get hurt like a little bit too much? Do they try to start fights? Do they constantly want to be in a physical altercation? Do they harm animals or other things that are weaker than them? And I'm not talking about forgetting to water your houseplants. If you know someone like this, you might want to start distancing yourself from them because they sound very unstable, and you don't want to be the person who ends up on the receiving end of their violence. Coming in at number 6, we have they have no empathy for other people. It's no surprise that most CEOs in America have psychopathic tendencies. You have to be pretty cold-hearted to want to make so much money and just hoard it like a dragon sitting on its wealth. And on top of that, you are making billions at the expense of other people. Well, that's because psychopaths tend to have very little empathy for the people around them. They literally can't feel compassion for people who are suffering. That is pretty messed up. And I'm not talking about someone falling off a skateboard. Those videos are always funny. Seeing someone get hurt in that fashion is just brilliant. If you laugh at that, it's not because you have no empathy, it's because you are literally a great person. But what I mean by this is they don't know how to feel bad for people because they literally can't do it. They have no ability to feel that emotion. Coming in at number 5, we have no respect for rules. Now, I understand if you don't want to follow all the rules. I mean, we all have jaywalked one time or another. If you're someone who refuses to jaywalk on an open street, then I would think that is something that is wrong with you. But what I'm talking about is someone who will go out of their way to break rules, like someone who thinks they are above the law for whatever reason. Like they might do things like constantly steal from stores even though they aren't in any sort of financial bind. They might do strange things like refuse to tip at a restaurant because they don't want to follow the rules. If you're someone like this, psychopath or not, you are a trash person, and the people at the restaurant should spit in your food. If you don't want to tip, you just shouldn't be able to go out. They should charge you a base tip before you go in, and then you can throw on an extra tip after your meal. Well, maybe it doesn't need to be that intense, but if you don't tip, you are literal scum. Coming in at number 4, we have they can't sit with their own thoughts. A huge problem and a telltale sign for someone who is a psychopath is a person who can never live without stimulation. Now, this can display itself in a lot of different ways. Maybe this person loves to constantly be full of adrenaline. They are someone who likes to do extreme sports, but even when they aren't consumed in that world, they might be needing to watch exciting footage or gamble on things that are very high stakes. They have a constant need for a jolt of energy from things that are exciting. They might be someone who is constantly using drugs. This could be in any form. Maybe they have several drinks throughout the day to spice things up, or they mix drinking with other drugs because they need a different kind of high. They always want to be stimulated by energy coursing through their veins. I mean, most of the people on this planet can't live without coffee, so are all those people psychopaths? Or are they just trying to get through the day? Another way that they might keep themselves stimulated is through mind games. If you find that your friend is always arguing with you, it could be because they need some form of stimulation at all times. Coming in at number 3, we have they never accept blame for anything. I mean, this isn't easy for anyone to do. There isn't a bunch of people in this world who are eager to admit when they are wrong, even when it's clear that they did something wrong. That's just the way the world is, but for a psychopath, this will go a few levels deeper. For them, it doesn't matter what the problem is. It could be something like they're late for work. They will always find a way to make it someone else's problem. They will get mad if you try to explain how they could do things better, so they wouldn't have this problem anymore because there is no way they could take advice from someone else. They are clearly the smartest person around. Another piece of this, would it be very hard for them to show actual regret or remorse when they eventually admit that they did something wrong? Are they telling you that they were wrong because they really felt like they made a mistake, or was this all a ploy to get you to stop bringing up their mistakes? Just something to please you so they can go on being their regular old psychopathic self. Another mind game that they could be playing with you. Coming in at number 2, we have strangely charming. So the cornerstone of someone who is a psycho is a person who can't feel emotions like everyone else. So when you can't express emotion like most other people, that might push people away from you. So what psychopaths will get good at is being so charismatic, like to the point where it's almost weird. Now, if someone is just super likable, that's one thing. There's nothing wrong with a person being an awesome person that people just want to be around. The key way that you can tell the difference with this one is if the person seems to have a different type of charisma they present to different people. Like they know what kind of face to show to everyone to make them like them, and they're not just being themselves and letting people enjoy who they are. Also, if you find that these charismatic encounters lead to them trying to get something out of you or another person, then that could be a sign that they are a little cuckoo in the head. And coming in at the number 1 spot, we have short-sighted. Now, some of us are just bad at planning for the future. We can't really get our head on straight and figure out what we want to do, or you just don't see what you want to work towards. That's a pretty normal thing. But the difference with the psychopath is they will not be able to plan for the future because they are constantly trying to get something that will get them ahead quickly. If you know someone who is always on a get-rich-quick scheme or trying to swindle people constantly, well then you might want to watch out because they could be on the crazy side. Alright guys, that has been our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I've been your host, Chaderena, and we'll see you on the next one. They are someone who likes to do